Alright, day two. By now you should know what day two is, but if you don't, let me quick remind you. Day two is the media public workout. We're here, Latino Night Riyadh season. Now, some fighters do absolutely nothing. Some fighters do something. Some fighters do everything. We have got you covered though, so make sure you stay locked in and tuned in. That's an incredible sight, isn't it? We are in Mexico World, which is in Boulevard World. We're here for Riyadh season Latino Night. Today is day two. Day two is the media and open public workout. Well, we hope to see the fighters throw hands and give us a glimpse of what we can expect to see come Saturday night. You can probably hear that, right? You can hear the mariachi band in full flow. So I'm going to stop talking now and let them have their moment once again. Here it is, the mariachi band's perform for us.
Son sus cascadas, el río Riyadh. Qué linda tierra, qué bella es. Son sus cascadas, el río Riyadh. Los que andamos por aquí, tierra linda y soberana, te saludo desde aquí. Todos somos de Jalisco los que andamos por aquí, tierra linda y soberana, te saludo desde aquí. Adiós Barrancas, donde he vivido, en lo presente, que no te olvido. Viva Jalisco, tierra de amores, lindas mujeres como las flores.
That was fantastic, wasn't it? I mean, they're so entertaining. I'm going to give you a fact that you probably didn't know. A Guinness World Record was broken recently. 800 mariachi performers performed simultaneously to break a Guinness World Record, which is, again, incredible. We couldn't obviously get 800 performers here, but hopefully you're happy with what we can get. Let me just quickly give you a bit of information as to where we are right now as well. We are in Mexico World. We're in Boulevard World, which hosts different countries. This is Mexico World. We are obviously, makes sense there. You see Spain, Plaza, Tidores. We are here, obviously, Latino Night. To the right of me is Japan World. That's where you need to go if you want to go to the toilet, by the way, Darren. And to the left of me is Greece World as well, where we were for Knockout Chaos. So we are experiencing all of Boulevard World here. Now, as you can probably just saw, you saw a glimpse of Chris Mannix. It was Sergio Mora with us yesterday. Sergio Mora is now part of the Spanish broadcast with Claudia de Trejo, so you can listen to this in Spanish if you choose to do so. If not, you're stuck with us, English speaking free here. Hello, Chris Mannix. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, and that shirt Sergio's wearing is part of the boys section at the DAZN shop. You can buy now.
You certainly can buy now. Darren, great to see you as well. Chris, look, we briefly saw you yesterday, but I haven't asked you the question I'm going to ask you now. Who or what is the fight you're looking forward to the most come Saturday night?
You know, it's got to be the main event. There's no question that there are 4 or 5 fights on this card that could be main events in their own right. Look, the co-main event, between Jose Ramirez and Arnold Barboza, that was originally ticketed for a main event in Las Vegas in late September, wound up being moved to this date. So you've got a bunch of fights that are incredibly compelling for a variety of reasons. But at the top of the bill, you've got a unification fight. You have got 2 of the top 3 cruiserweights in the world right now going at it for 2 belts and the likelihood to face the number 1 cruiserweight in the world. That is Ziyad Almaayouf, who's going to be watching that fight very closely. Zurdo, we know, has made a tremendous run over a short period of time at cruiserweight, winning a world title in just his 2nd fight in the weight class. Billam-Smith, basically a career-long cruiserweight, who is just now starting to make a name for himself. So these 2 guys, they're both great fighters. I think it's going to be a great clash of styles.
Yeah, you want to beat the man. So you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. The man right now in the cruiserweight division is Ziyad Almaayouf. Fantastic opportunity for the winner here. I feel like I'm forcing them into something they may not want to do, but that's where you've got to go if you win come Saturday.
Yeah, this is what top level sport's about. You want to face the best to be the best. And once these 2 have fought, we would decide who number 2 and number 3 is. Everyone's got their opinion on that. And then you go on to face Ziyad Almaayouf for number 1 in the division. And that's what it's all about. 2 contrasting styles, in my opinion. Billam-Smith, lots of grit, determination, confidence is through the roof. And then you've got Ramirez. He can mix it up. He can do a little bit of everything. Speed of hand, speed of foot. It's a brilliant fight.
Yeah, it is a fantastic main event. I did say on the broadcast yesterday, Chris, that Williams-Zepeda is probably the best fighter not to have fought for a world title. True or false?
I think that's true, and I think there's no question. Look, Williams-Zepeda is the number 1 contender by all sanctioning bodies in the 135-pound division. That's a remarkable achievement. You can't get all 4 sanctioning bodies to agree on a lunch order if you put them in the same room together. They all agree that Williams-Zepeda is number 1 in that weight class. Now, he's probably going to lose that distinction sometime next year. He gets through this fight against Tevin Farmer. It's very likely we're going to see him face Shakur Stevenson in the first half of 2025. But right now, Williams-Zepeda, outside of those title holders and outside of anybody else, he is the number 1 guy across boxing without a belt.
So much goodness on this card. Another fight you're really looking forward to is Duarte versus Akhmedov. It was supposed to be Duarte versus Kenneth Sims, which would have been a good fight anyway, but Akhmedov coming in on 2 weeks' notice, I think, is a really good replacement.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Look, it's not going the distance. This is an absolute shootout. Do not go to the bathroom. Do not do anything. Do not blink, because that is going to be a fight you don't want to miss. There's no way that can't catch fire early.
Yeah. And by the way, don't sleep on Akhmedov coming into this fight, because I know he took the fight on short notice. I know his record isn't the glossiest out there, but this guy, to Darren's point, can fight. I was at his fight in Los Angeles against Mario Barrios several years ago. I thought he won that fight.
Yeah.
He deserves to be, in my opinion, a world title holder. So this guy's coming in, maybe without the reputation, but he's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, you look at the record, 10-3, and I said it yesterday, don't let that record trick you. That almost sounds to become like a journeyman record, and it certainly isn't that. He's a really good fighter. Let's show you the full fight card and what you can expect on Saturday night. So many intriguing matchups, so many world title fights, guys that want to get back to the top, guys that have been at the top. Ziyad Almaayouf takes on Juan Garcia. That kicks us off in the welterweight division.
My guy, Ziyad.
Ziyad, who loves you, right? Oscar Duarte, the only man that loves you, takes on Akhmedov. Oscar Collazo takes out knockout CP Freshmart. Williams-Zepeda, we just spoke about, takes on former IBF super featherweight champion Tevin Farmer. Jose Ramirez, let's not forget him, former unified champion, 140-pound. He takes on Arnold Barboza, a man desperate for a world title shot. He might get one if he comes through Ramirez. And then a unification fight in the cruiserweight division. Gilberto Ramirez takes on Billam-Smith. That's a really, really good card, Chris.
Yeah, you go all the way down to that Duarte fight, which again, on a small Golden Boy show in the U.S., you could have seen that as a headliner all the way up. Some really terrific fights.
It is. You know, when you look at that, 140-pound pops up twice, right? 140-pound division, and we're speaking about it. Obviously, we've got a few 140-pounders back home. It's a stacked division right now.
Yeah.
I mean, one loss, you go all the way down. One win, you go right back up there.
Yeah, and that's what you want to be. You want to be part of a stacked division. You know, you want opportunities to win titles and to be in big fights that you can gain lots of financial benefits. So for all these fighters, there's so much at stake. You know, from the top of the bill, where the guy who wins that is going to go on to face number 1 in the division and make a claim to be number 1 themselves. Every single fight has something to fight for, and that's what makes it a great card.
It certainly does. All right, let's get the show on the road. It is time for the media public workouts. Let's throw to your MC for this one, Mr. Thomas Triber.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Media Public Workouts for Riyadh Season Latino Night, a great night of World Championship Boxing to be held this Saturday from the venue in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We would first like to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency, Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, Jia, Turkey, Al-Sheikh. It is being brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, Jia, with Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and Sella in association with Boxer, along with our great sponsors: Saudi Tourism Authority, Saudi National Bank, STC, Dr. Suleiman El Habib Medical Group, Saudia Airlines, New Muraba Development Company, Tawuniya Hunger Station, Lucid Motors, and Altan Fethi. A big thanks to those great sponsors. And some great news, courtesy of His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh. This great event is available for free. You can watch it globally on DAZN, in the UK on Sky, in the United States on Telemundo and Fox Deportes, in Mexico on TV Azteca, across MENA on BN, NBC, and STC TV, and around the world for free on DAZN. Let's now get things started. Our first fighter to the ring competing this Saturday in a scheduled 6-round welterweight contest. He hails from right here, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and he is undefeated with 6 wins, 1 win, coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ziyad Almaayouf.
Ziyad Almaayouf making his way to the ring, and we were talking about Ziyad yesterday, Chris. Look, last time out in LA, it wasn't the performance he wanted, but you learn from it, right? He's always very confident, always sort of expects more of himself. But I feel like the pressure's on with Ziyad as well now to start performing. Yeah,
very articulate young man who said he did learn a lot from that performance. That was officially ruled a draw after the fight. It was later overturned to a DQ win for Ziyad after his opponent tested positive for a banned sub. So he was able to keep his record intact, his unblemished record intact, but he certainly has a lot to learn from that fight. Didn't look all that good in that fight. He was the first one that came out yesterday and said he's learned a lot from it, he's grown from it, and he expects a bigger performance. He began his year fighting in Saudi Arabia. He now ends it and hopes it gives him a step forward into some other big fights in 2025.
What do you make, Darren, of a fighter doing the media workout in a jean jacket and jeans?
It's more the double denim that I'm worried about. I know you rock a bit of double denim.
Yeah, no, I just want to see a fighter in workout clothes, if I'm honest with you, like a workout tracksuit or something.
I kind of respect the whole, like, I'm not going to do anything anyway, so I might as well come out in the clothes I came in.
Yeah, fair.
Thank you very much to the undefeated Ziyad Almaayouf.
I did say at the top of the show, I don't know if you saw my little hit, I said some fighters are going to do something, some fighters are going to do nothing. Some will do everything. Ziyad's obviously fallen into, I'm going to do nothing. Look, some fighters use this as a chance to kind of throw hands a little bit. Some just want to get it over and done with and tick a box and move on. Yeah,
but take it all in your stride, enjoy it, and I think he does. He hasn't done much there at all. More of a fashion parade, but still, it's all new. He's only been doing this for what, a short period of time. So this is all boxes that he's ticking all the time. Stylistically, I like him when he's letting his shots go. It's just as fights progress, as you said, Chris, he just starts to come to and gets caught with far too many shots.
Yeah, he's a physical young guy, but he's got to learn to be a sharper boxer, use that jab more, get himself a little bit more technical as his career moves forward.
We continue these next two fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 12-round super lightweight contest. We will first welcome, coming to us from Uzbekistan, a 2016 Olympian, now with a professional record of 10 wins, 3 defeats, 9 of his 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Batyr, the Shark Akhmedov.
Batyr Akhmedov making his way to the ring. As he does that, Ziyad Almaayouf has joined us. Ziyad, I was saying as you were in the ring, I said I've never seen a fighter in the ring in double denim.
Yes. We have to change the game, This sport is about building the boxer, the athlete, the figure. I want people to fall in love with the persona, show them that boxers are more than just fighters. We do a lot more. Have people, make sense with it.
How do you feel, Ziyad, after your last performance? Obviously, look, it's been turned into a DQ. Your fighter that you fought tested positive for a banned substance. But how do you feel about the way in which you fought?
Listen, no excuses, to be honest. I know he was on performance enhancers. I know how much this could change a fight.
That's a good excuse, though.
Yeah, it is a good excuse, of course. But I learned so much that fight week, dealing with the pressure, the stress, the doubts, the voices. That's really what I'm learning to control with this career. The boxing, and look, you two should probably know, I've listened to every single word I've heard from people I look up to since the beginning of my career. From Barry, from my first fight, to you guys yesterday, you saying I have to make the adjustments and I have to make them fast. I agree, and that's what I'm working on. And you talking about the pressure that's on me, of course, but it's all about the fine margins in this game, and I do have to work on myself mentally with the pressure that comes into this game to keep my shape as the fight goes and progresses.
Yeah, that was the question I was going to ask. How are you finding that pressure? There's a big kind of label on your back, a big responsibility almost. How are you finding that? Because let's get it right, when it comes to boxing, you're kind of still a novice, right?
Yeah, of course. Look, it's a privilege. This pressure is a big privilege, but I need to understand the pressure, and I understand the pressure. I know what comes with this career. I know that I need to not just fight but perform, not just perform but win. But again, it's all about, when you talk about making the adjustments, if you saw Zizou before he moved abroad when he was in the United States, and you see the way Zizou is fighting now against opponents who, even if the record doesn't show it, they've had a lot more experience than Zizou. I didn't have a boxing ring for more than 5-6 years, no heavy bag. The first time anybody taught me a proper body shot that's not a straight to the body was when I moved abroad. So Buddy has taken me from not just a novice, but a green fighter with bad habits into fixing the habits and turning him into an international fighter who could mix it up with international opponents. This pressure is good, but I understand it. I welcome it, because the easier you welcome the emotions that are expected, the easier you deal with them. And that's what I'm just trying to focus. I can't say no pressure, it's all good. Then I'm not going to be able to deal with it. The more you run away from emotions, the more they run after you. You stand, you meet them, you understand them, you win. That's what I'm trying to do.
I love when you speak. Fantastic talk. Ziyad,
thank you so
good
much.
luck on Saturday, brother. Well done. Thank you.
This Saturday will be beautiful.
Speaks well, doesn't he?
He
really speaks well. And what I found fascinating was there when he says, I watch and I listen to everything everyone says. Thank God you didn't say anything really bad about him. But he watches and listens to everything. And when he broke it down like that, the fact is, only when he went to America was he able to fight in a ring and hit a heavy bag. It's been quite a steep upward curve for him then.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what I like what he said as well when it came to the pressure? That it's an honour that he has that pressure on his shoulders, because that means you know, you've got something to strive towards, and there's an expectation almost, and it seems as if he really likes that responsibility. This man here, however, is somebody that just doesn't even think about the word pressure. When you've done what he has done in the amateurs and won a bronze in the Olympic Games, and willing to take on anybody, pressure doesn't exist. 2 of those defeats that he has on the record are for world titles in 13 fights. It's incredible.
Yeah, and I still think, obviously, look, he takes on Oscar Duarte, Chris, and I still think Oscar Duarte's best weight's 135 pounds. I think at 140, I mean, at 135, I think he was the bigger, he's the stronger of everyone. At 140, he's still physically very big, but he's lost a bit of that size to guys that come in the ring, having come down from 165, some of them, Chris.
Yeah, and he hasn't really faced a full 140-pounder up until this point. His last fight was against Jojo Diaz, and that was a spectacular performance. He became the first guy to stop Jojo Diaz, but now he's going to be facing a full-fledged 140-pounder, a guy that has taken on some of the very best in that weight class. It's going to be a pretty big challenge, I think, for Oscar Duarte. He is going to be tested. I don't want to say like he's never been tested before, because Ryan Garcia did a lot to win that fight, but he is going to be tested this weight class significantly.
What about the pressure on Akhmedov when he turned over, like a lot of Eastern Europeans? Everyone expects them to achieve stuff straight away. The record does say 3 defeats. Yes, a couple of them are very subjective, but it does say 3 defeats. Pressure on him as well.
Yeah, look, I don't think he thinks about it too much. I think his safe place, the place he wants to be and the place he feels comfortable, you've just got to watch him box, is in a boxing ring. That's when he can just forget about all of that. I'm just so excited for this fight, because neither are going to take a back step. It's who can outlast this fight, who can throw the most shots, who can soak it up. This really is magical.
I do love that you see in the ring. Bektemir Melikuziev just fought a couple of weeks ago in his fight. Very tough fight. He's back, and he's here as part of the team.
I love the way in which they all support each other as well. They'll always be in the camp. Some of them live with each other as well. They really do support. And credit to the matchmakers to get Akhmedov there as well as a replacement for Kenneth Sims. I think it's a really good replacement. All right, anyway, let's get Oscar Duarte in the ring. So let's throw down to your MC, Mr. Thomas Triber.
Let's now welcome, coming to us from Parral, Chihuahua, Mexico. He brings a professional record consisting of 27 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, with 22 of his 27 wins coming by way of knockout. He is a former NABF champion. Here is Oscar La Migraña Duarte.
As Oscar Duarte makes his way to the ring, another Oscar has joined us in the studio, the great Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar,
for a happy fighter is going to be a fighter that is very, very dangerous, and he's having a lot of fun. I can see him now smiling. He's just enjoying the whole process. So now that he's taking care of all these challengers, tough challengers, if I may say, he's having an easier time. He's moving like a lightweight up in the ring. I mean, fighting at cruiserweight, he's really, really incredible at what he's doing. He's getting better and better and better, faster, stronger. So we haven't seen the best of Zurdo, and I strongly believe, I have a great hunch that if Usyk wins and beats Tyson, I really feel that fight is very possible against Zurdo and Usyk.
Yep. Well, everyone wants options. That's a big option. You mentioned lightweight there. Your best kept secret, no longer a secret, as William Zabeda. Everyone's talking about him now as a worldwide star. If he comes through Tevin Farmer, and look, it's an if, Tevin Farmer, you've got to give him his respect, are we going to see the Shakur Stevenson fight?
Well, look, with all due respect to Tevin Farmer, I believe he's a live dog in this fight. He has the style to upset anybody. But obviously, William Zabeda, he's a machine. He has the output. He's relentless. He hits hard. He has a great chin. He never gets tired. It's going to be a great fight, an action-packed fight. It all depends on how in shape Tevin Farmer is, how much he wants it, how much heart he has, because the machine, William Zabeda, is going to come right at him. He's going to try to steamroll right over him and take care of business. But I truly feel that when William Zabeda wins, if he wins, we will go directly into a Shakur Stevenson fight. That's what we want.
So, Oscar, you just saw Ziyad Almaayouf passing by. You said you want to build a star from the ground up from Saudi Arabia. How do you do that?
You look for fighters like him. It's not from the ground up. I believe he has like 6 fights, but he's still beginning. He's still working up in the rankings. I really want to look for that perfect fighter in Riyadh and build a world champion. It'll be a pleasure. It'll be an honor. And I'm speaking to His Excellency tomorrow. We'll make some plans and hopefully make it happen.
Oscar, thank you very, very much. All right, more fighters are ready to get in the ring, so let's throw it back downstairs to Thomas Schreiber.
Our next 2 fighters competing this Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the vacant Ring Magazine Championship and both the WBA and WBO minimum weight championships of the world. Let's first welcome from Surin, Thailand, undefeated with 25 wins, 9 wins. Coming by way of knockout, here is the reigning and defending WBA minimum weight champion of the world, Tamanoon Knockout CP Freshmart Nyomtrong.
You know, Chris, I think there are a lot of question marks here with Tamanoon Nyomtrong. Obviously, the record is fantastic, unbeaten, long reigning WBA champion, and you have to give him these plaudits for that. But minus that fight he had a few months ago, he hasn't done anything for 2 years. And I think we'll find out very, very early in this fight what he's got left.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything for the better part of the last 2 years. And even when he's been active, the vast majority of his fights have taken place in his home country of Thailand. And nobody really knows who has talent in the 105 division. To be honest, we know his opponent has talent. We've seen Oscar Collazo fight multiple times on DAZN. We saw him win his world championship in just his 7th pro fight. He feels like he's getting better every single day. Look, Knockout CP Freshmart is arguably the biggest name in this 105-pound division. This fight, though, I think is going to determine who the best fighter in that weight class is.
I said yesterday, I almost feel like the lighter weight guys now are getting so much respect. People are tuning in, right? And I guess, because you know what you're getting. You're getting action for the full 12 rounds. I mean, these guys throw punches and bunches. It's at a pace that, to the normal boxing fan, is incredible. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, of course it will. 2 brilliant fighters that throw a lot of punches. Nyomtrong is busy. He's in your face. He's a little unorthodox with his style, does come tall at times, can get caught with jabs because his guard is quite wide, but as far as commitment and desire and will to win is concerned, I think that's what's held him in such good stead and made him the champion he has been for over 8 years. It's incredible. Collazo, a very good fighter though. He's an aggressive counter-puncher. There's an awful lot to like about this fight. Is it changing of the guards? You know, does this man here in the ring want to continue to keep doing this, the hardest sport in the world? A lot of questions that I can't wait to be answered.
You know, Chris, we're always asking and pushing fighters to move up in weights, right? Try and challenge themselves. Do you look at Collazo as one of those fighters that could maybe jump up a couple of weight classes?
I think he could in the future. Look, he wants to become unified at this weight class. I think he'd like to become undisputed. There's some other fighters over in Japan fighting at 105 pounds, but I think Oscar can go up to 108. He can go up to 112. He's got that physique that I think will fill out in the higher weight classes. He's got a great style. He is a lot of fun to watch in those lower weight classes. One of the things he said to me yesterday was, effectively to paraphrase, he wants to make these lower weight classes cool. And he's one of those guys with the style and the personality to do just that.
Yeah, I loved what he said yesterday. Obviously, look, managed by Miguel Cotto as well. The great Miguel Cotto is here. And I like the fact that he's putting pressure on himself to make this weight class cool. A lot of guys don't like to talk because they know it puts pressure on themselves when they get in the ring. He wants to talk. He wants to put pressure on himself. And so far, so good. He's backed it all up.
Yeah. Look, you always want something to strive towards. And if you've got that opportunity to make a division cool, then you're going to take it with both hands. You're really going to strive to do everything in your power. You know, I remember watching the big guys, the Tysons, the Lewis, etc. Then for me, being a fighter, along comes Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, these kind of guys. Like, wow, you know, Prince Nassim Hamid, these guys that made the smaller divisions, for me, very popular and fun to watch. Now these have got the opportunity to do it, and what an opportunity that is.
Well, it takes a standard bearer, right? And one of the role models for Oscar Collazo is Ivan Calderon, Iron Boy Calderon, who has been giving him advice over the course of his professional career. And look, he's a Hall of Famer. He was, you know, they used to have that saying, death, taxes, and Ivan Calderon by decision. That was kind of a thing when he had those fights. This guy, Collazo, has a chance to become that type of fighter where he has that name recognition that people want to watch.
Yeah, Tamanoon is taking the full, I think it's about 5 minutes here. Like, again, some will do nothing.
You said we'd see a
some
bit
will
of
do
everything.
something, some will do everything. And Tamanoon has certainly done everything. He might look at this as a bit of a workout because, again, he's not done anything for a long time. So he might want to just, you know, get a bit loose, throw some hands, get used to the weather.
It's really remarkable that being a world champion as long as he has been, that he hasn't unified the title in that way. And I think that kind of speaks to the complexity of the weight class, making fights happen, making them make some kind of financial sense. But this will be his first chance to unify, as it is for Oscar Collazo.
Yeah, we'll see who does unify come Saturday. Remember, Oscar Collazo, the WBO champion, Tamanoon, the Anchong, the WBA champion. Should be a good fight, this one. Should be action-packed for as long as it lasts. Collazo the favourite, but again, let's not forget, this is the man that's in Neum Trong there. This is the man that's had that WBA belt for over 8 years.
Thank you very much to the undefeated world champion, Tamanoon, knockout CP Freshmart, Neum Trong.
All right, Oscar Collazo is ready to step in the ring, so let's throw it back once again to Thomas Streiber.
And now let's welcome to the ring, fighting out of Villalba, Puerto Rico, by way of Newark, New Jersey. He had a stellar amateur career and now undefeated as a professional with 10 wins. 7 of his 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the reigning and defending WBO minimum weight champion of the world, Oscar El Pupilo Collazo.
Here he comes, the always smiling, always happy, always gleaming and gleaming. Oscar Collazo, the current WBO minimum weight champion, a stellar 2024. Chris, he wanted 5 fights. He doesn't get the 5, gets 3, which in today's boxing world is quite a lot considering what other world champions are doing. But the fact he even asked for 5 tells you exactly where this guy wants to go. He wants to be one of the best.
Well, he also wants to be one of the best paid. You know, the reason he asked for those 5 fights is at the beginning of the year, Oscar De La Hoya took to social media and said he had a 7-figure payday for any world champion that fought 5 times in a year, as Oscar did back in the late 1990s. I remember being in the ring with Oscar Collazo, and he said, look, I want those 5 fights. Oscar De La Hoya was standing right behind him. You see the look on his face like, oh, man, I got to slow this guy down. I'm going to have to pay 7 figures to avoid that. But this kid, he is really a talented 105-pounder, really the full package. Great speed, footwork, and he's got that natural aggressiveness that when he gets a fighter in trouble, he's going for knockouts.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm a big fan of this man, Collazo. I love the way he fights. He's got a nice high guard, southpaw. He's in your face, but he's always looking for the counter punch. And if you miss with your jab, or any shot in particular, he will find that left hand. The accuracy on this man is phenomenal. The speed, as you can imagine, is electric. He's very, very exciting. He throws a lot of shots, and he's funny because he's always looking to be second, get the second and almost the fourth say of an argument. So he's very busy with that style of fighting. Big fan of this man.
When you think about it, still learning, Darren. Knockout CP Freshmart, 25 fights on his pro resume. Just 10 for Oscar Collazo. Won that world title in his 7th pro fight. So even though he's fast emerging as the class of this weight division, he's still got a lot of room to grow.
You know, I mentioned could he go through the weight classes. You look at him, and we were just privileged to see knockout CP Freshmart. Like, Collazo's big. He's big, isn't he? I mean, you look at him really, like the size of him, you can fill out that frame a little bit. And it's funny, me and Chris were speaking to his manager and trainer, and they were showing us videos of him squatting and deadlifting. He's very, very strong at the weight as well.
Yeah, look, 5'2", I think he's down as, but he looks bigger than that.
He looks bigger than 5'2".
It looks like he could fill out. And like I say, the most important thing with him is, yes, he can punch, but it's the way that he finds the power. It's through speed, it's through timing, it's through class, good ring IQ. And yeah, if you have that, you have the height, you can, if you're lucky, go through the divisions.
And this weight class needs a fighter like him. You look at what Bam Rodriguez did for that 112, 115 weight class, which has started to slow down a little bit as guys like Chocolatito and Gallo Estrada got a little bit older. It's been even longer since we've seen a star at 105 or 108 pounds. I think this kid has the chance to be that star.
He looks good in the ring, doesn't he, Darren? I mean, again, look, some fighters won't show us much, but what he is showing us in this brief little stint, it's good stuff.
Yeah, really, really good. Another name that springs to mind, Ricardo Lopez. What a fight he was. Incredible fighter. But Collazo, yeah, look, he's got those kind of ambitions. He's the guy that he believes can be the one to take that stature as the best little man, if you like.
Do you think he wants to become undisputed? I mean, is that sort of within... He's won... I mean, he's already beaten Melvin Jerusalem, who is the current WBC champion. Does he go back there again and try and get that belt? Or do you think he thinks, okay, this is the number 2 in the division. I know he thinks he's number 1. Beat this guy and then move.
No, I think he wants to be undisputed. That was the message he delivered to me earlier in the year, that getting all 4 belts was the priority. And he also said he'd be willing to go on the road to do it. Look, he's putting his money where his mouth is right now. Granted, he's probably going to get a lot of money to pay for this type of fight, but he's going on the road to try to win a world title. If it means going on the road again to win those other 2 belts, I'm sure he's happy to do that. He 100% wants to be undisputed at 105 before he moves up.
More than ever in boxing, I mean, unless you go back to the 80s and maybe the 90s, we are seeing the want now for undisputed fights. I feel like they're easier to make now that promoters are talking with each other as well, and we're seeing quite a few of them being made already.
Yeah, I can only talk about my own career. Once I won a world title, that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to push on it. Obviously, it didn't happen, but I would have loved to have been more than a unified. I would have loved to have been undisputed, and that's got to be your aim. That's got to be your goal. Yes, winning a world title is that big box tick for every fight, but then to push on and be the number 1 in the division, and you do that now by beating the best, winning all the titles, and making your claim for greatness.
Yeah, and these Riyadh season shows are helping with that. Look, we just had one last month with Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol, a fight that I don't believe would have happened if not for Riyadh season. Now, look, these smaller weight fights, a little bit easier to make, not quite as much money, but putting these types of fights together is a lot simpler now that we're doing fights in Saudi Arabia.
Thank you very much to the undefeated world champion, Oscar El Pupilo Collazo.
Darren, you were just lifting your shirt up like that.
Remember, you can watch all the action live and free on DAZN this Saturday. Remember, just go to DAZN.com/boxing. Just put your email address there and sign up. And if that's not enough of a reason to watch this Saturday, this might tempt you as well.
It's another unbeatable fight week on DAZN.
Hello, people.
For Riyadh season Latino Night, watch for free on November 16th as world champions Ramirez and Billam-Smith collide. Part of DAZN's stacked schedule of over 150 fights a year. Get closer to the action with a first-class broadcast team on any device, anywhere. All of this with no subscription required. You can't beat fight nights every week. You can't beat Riyadh season Latino Night on DAZN. Sign up for free at DAZN.com/boxing.
All right, let's continue with the action. Now in the ring is former IBF Super Featherweight champion Tevin Farmer. Let's go. I think I've done his job for him there. Let's go to your MC, Mr. Thomas Driver.
Our next two fighters competing this Saturday in a scheduled 10-round contest. It will be for the vacant WBC Interim Lightweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome, coming to us from the great fighting city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA. He brings a professional record consisting of 33 wins, 6 defeats, 1 draw, with 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former IBF Super Featherweight Champion of the World, Tevin, 2-time Farmer.
I've been intrigued as to what Tevin Farmer is going to look like physically. Obviously, look, I mean, his best work was done at Super Featherweight. He's now in the lightweight division. He's been there for a while now. But he's going to need all those physical attributes, I think, come Saturday night, because Zepeda is just almost a nightmare in the ring in terms of stylistically the way in which he fights.
Yeah, if this was 5 or 6 years ago, I think I would have said I'm really intrigued by this fight. But Tevin Farmer, it's been about 4 years since he was at the top of his game. So he lost that title to Jojo Diaz just before the pandemic hit. Since then, he's been in some relatively low-level fights. He lost his last fight to Raymond Morataya. Again, at the peak of his powers, Jojo Diaz was Tevin Farmer was a terrific defensive fighter. Is he still that same guy? We're going to find out on Saturday.
Yeah, one guy that we don't have to find out about, one that we know is a terrific fighter right at the top of his game, is Oscar Collazo, who joins us now. How are you enjoying this, being in Saudi Arabia?
Hey, I just started laughing, enjoying the moment. You know, it's different. It's a different vibe over here. Very special for me. Being in a high class people, you know, that enjoys boxing. I like it.
I was saying to these guys, you knocked out your opponent back in January. Right there in the ring, you said to me, I want the 5 fights this year, Oscar, because I want the $5 million that you promised that. And the look at his face was like, oh, man, I got to slow this guy down. He might actually get there. But you don't get that 5th fight, but you get something maybe even bigger. A chance to unify against the guy that I think is the class of this weight class.
No, I got to thank Oscar. Give me that opportunity. You know, it's a history in the making. And a great fight, like I said, the fight the best. If you want to prove yourself, you got to fight the best, and I'm proving that right now.
Well, me and Chris were discussing whether or not you go for undisputed, whether or not it's a case of you fight the guy that I think is number 2 in the division, and then you move on to a higher weight class. Do you want undisputed? Is that one of the boxes that you need to tick?
I want to be undisputed. I want to get this fight. Everything goes good. We're going to win this Saturday, and just go to the WBC IBF World Champions.
You know, this guy, knockout CP Freshmart's been around for a long time. Been off for a better part of the last 2 years, but he's had a lot of accomplishments before that. When you study him on film, what do you see? What do you have to do to win this fight?
I got to be more intelligent than him in the ring. My IQ, my defensive. I know I'm more faster than him. I guess pick my shots, wait patiently for my shots. I know he's gonna make a mistake, and we're gonna get him.
We wish you all the luck in the world. Go and rest your legs. Go and do whatever you got to do tonight. But good luck. Come Saturday, Oscar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's turn back, Chris, to Tevin Farmer doing his thing. Hey, you know what? I was watching him as Oscar was talking. He's looking really sharp in there.
Hey, looks fit. He looks sharp. He looks ready to go. You know, I've been talking to him since that press conference back in Los Angeles about a month or so ago. And look, he says he's ready for this fight. Look, let's be honest about why Tevin Farmer is here. He fights a style, a defensive-minded southpaw style that reasonably facsimilates Shakur Stevenson.
100%.
So he doesn't believe that. He's here to win, but he's going to have to really do something special to knock off a guy that throws more than 100 punches per round.
Thank you to the former world champion, Tevin, two-time Farmer.
Tevin Farmer is going to be making his way to us in the studio. Really looking forward to speaking to Tevin Farmer about the idea of him coming here as the opponent, the guy that, you know, William Zepeda is going to try and look good against. And what does that do to him? Does it provide that bit of extra motivation? Because I agree with what Chris has said there. They brought him here because he looks and fights similar to Shakur Stevenson. It's a fact.
Look, how much desire, how much will to win is left with Farmer? Because when you're younger and you're striving for those titles, when it gets up, you're willing to dig deep. Is he still willing to go there?
Let's see the man who's going to fight next. Let's go back into your ring with the MC, Mr. Thomas Triber.
And now let's welcome to the ring, coming to us from San Mateo Antenco, Mexico. He brings a professional record of 31 wins, no defeats. 27 of those 31 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the undefeated William Camarón Zepeda.
Chris, who is Oscar De La Hoya's best fighter? In that Golden Boy stable, if you had to kind of put your hat on one fighter, is it Virgil Ortiz? Is it this man coming to the ring? Who is it?
Well, I don't want to dismiss what Ryan Garcia is. Ryan Garcia, to me, is still the biggest star in the Golden Boy stable. And you can make an argument that he is still the best fighter. I mean, he's a talented guy. But this guy, William Zepeda, is on what I think is a very short list at the top. You think about it, I mean, he was kind of... He was somebody anybody could have signed several years ago. I remember watching him fight on low-level series in the U.S. He was actually brought in as an opponent for a Golden Boy prospect named Hector Tanahara. He wound up buzzing straight through Tanahara to earn his place in that Golden Boy stable. He's been doing it ever since. His last fight against Maxie Hughes is a very credible fighter. He's fought some good opponents, was life and death with George Kambosos in the fight before that. William Zepeda didn't give him a chance in that fight. This guy is a special talent.
He really is, and I think we're going to see that come Saturday night. Very, very special. When you look at the record again, Darren, 31 fights, 27 of those ending by knockout, obviously 31 wins. Incredible. And he takes on this man who joins us now, former IBF Super Featherweight champion, Tevin Farmer. Tevin, I was looking at you in the ring. You're looking sharp, Tevin. Looking real sharp.
Yeah, I'm feeling, I know a lot of fighters say this, but I'm feeling amazing. The long layoff for me kind of hindered me a little bit. My last performance, I feel like I won. A lot of fans feel like I won. I ain't get the decision, but now the ring rest is over and I'm ready to go.
I'm about to say that. Do you take some confidence from that? Forget what the record books say in terms of an hour. Do you look back at that performance and think, okay, you know, I've had my time out the ring, I stepped up, and look what I did. Give me a few more months.
I mean, I wouldn't say it gave me confidence because I already knew what it was. I already know how good I am. I just know I needed some time. You know, I wasn't under the bright lights in a very long time on a big stage, and that was like a great experience for me once again. But now I get another opportunity, and I'm gonna take advantage of it. I'm fighting somebody that a lot of people wouldn't fight, I should say, and I'm gonna show out. So anybody watching this right now, all I'm saying is if you like Cepeda, put your money where your mouth at.
I love the smile. I love the confidence.
I'm so intrigued with what you've achieved already in the sport. How much desire, how much ambition left? How much are you willing to dig deep? How many more of those fights do you have left?
I mean, I feel like I still got a lot to accomplish. I'm an overachiever. You know, I wasn't to the boxing world. I wasn't supposed to be where I'm at today. I kept going. I became champion of the world. And I'm looking to become 2-time world champion. And beating a guy like Cepeda is going to say a lot. I think this win right here is going to shake up the 135-pound division for sure.
Are you content with what you've done in your career already?
No, I'm not. You know, I want to go out on top.
That's the right answer.
I love it. No, I love it. What do you make of fighting over here in Saudi Arabia?
Man, I'm excited.
It's crazy, right?
I'm excited. The first time I seen a boxing match over here, I think it was like 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm like, I got to fight on one of them cards.
Yeah.
And here, years later, I'm on it, and you know, the same thing with DAZN. When they first came out, I said I got to get on DAZN. I got on DAZN, became champion, was one of their first American champions. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna become champion again. And I know there's a lot of doubts going on around the world, but I thrive off doubters. You know, nobody's supposed to believe in you, right? It's your job to make people believe in you. And that's my job, to go out there and make people believers once again. Because once upon a time, there was a lot of believers, right? And I still have my supporters. And guess what? They're going to be even bigger after Saturday.
I don't see many fighters doing media workouts in Burberry shorts.
Yeah. I had to put them on and match my shirts really nice. I said, you know what? Because I'm actually flying to Africa after I get this win. I'm flying to Africa.
Yeah.
So I say I'm gonna wear these out there, but I say, hey, I can wear them to the. I think it'd be cool to wear them for the media day.
How many media workouts finally have you done like this? I mean, you've done so many media workouts in your career. Any like this?
I can't remember, to be honest, but this is definitely one of the biggest.
It certainly is, isn't it? It's incredible.
I'm happy to be here.
And we're happy to have you here, Tevin. Good luck on Saturday, brother.
Thank you. I'm shocking the world.
Thank you very much, brother. Hey, looks confident. Sound confident.
I love what I'm hearing from these fighters. A lot of confidence, some very, very good speakers. And look, he answered those questions correctly.
And he answered them without no stuttering. 100% belief.
I want to carry on. I want to be a 2-time world champion.
What a fight that is. William Cepeda versus former IBO super featherweight champion Tevin Farmer. All right, Thomas Tribert is waiting for me to throw it back to him. There you go, Thomas. All yours.
Our co-main event this Saturday, it is scheduled for 10 rounds in the junior welterweight division. Let's first welcome to the ring, coming to us from El Monte, California, USA. He brings an undefeated record with 30 wins, 11 wins, coming by way of knockout. He is the current WBO Intercontinental Champion, Arnold Barboza Jr.
Arnold Barboza, the unbeaten Arnold Barboza Jr. in the ring. A man that's been on the outside looking in. When you think of the 140-pound division, he wants his respect, he wants the big names. He gets a big name on Saturday. He takes on former unified champion Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, it's a really good fight. He's a really, really good fighter, is Barboza Jr. Didn't look great against Sean McComb, but who does when you're fighting a big, rangy southpaw like McComb? But I will say, I love the way this man puts his punches together with real ease, flow, rhythm, vicious body puncher. And you're right, he wants that big fight. He's got it now, and he's got to make the most of it.
Chris, this was billed as a world title eliminator. In the last couple of minutes, I feel like things might have changed. What can you tell us?
Yeah, this was originally scheduled to be a 12-round world title eliminator. It is now a 10-round fight with no elimination stakes on the line. I was just talking with Eric Gomez, the president of Golden Boy Promotions. He says the reason this is no longer an eliminator is simply because Arnold Barboza no longer wanted it to be one. He says he's had some issues with the WBO in the past. Look, he has been at the top of the WBO rankings for a long time, and they have yet to force him into a mandatory position. Right now, Teofimo Lopez is the world champion in that weight class. So no longer an eliminator, for the WBO 140-pound title, now a 10-round fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is significant. I mean, again, and for Arnold Barboza to say, I don't want it to be, again, suggests the problems that he's having with the WBO, because he wants a world title fight, and this win would have put him in position to fight for a world title. It's a shame, but still, you still get Ramirez and Barboza going at it for 10 rounds regardless.
Yeah, and it's still a big name on his record. Ramirez, a very, very good fighter, former champion, so a win over Ramirez really does catapult him into the other divisions, other governing bodies, in their rankings. He'll climb up and maybe he'll get his shot that way.
Can we talk for a moment about how insane it is that these two guys are just now fighting each other? They were stablemates with Top Rank for the better part of 10 years. They had the same manager, Rick Meridian, for several years. The fact that we're here now in 2024 and we're just getting Ramirez-Barboza is pretty remarkable. And I'm glad we're getting, because one loss between them for Jose Ramirez, lost that big fight to Josh Taylor several years ago. Arnold Barboza, even though, to your point, Darren, did not look great in his last fight, still finds ways to win without a title or a title eliminator status. Doesn't matter. This is still a very consequential fight.
On Ramirez, who's going to make his way to the ring in a few minutes, do you still think he is a factor? And I mean a title contender factor in the 140-pound division?
Absolutely. He is a name in the 140-pound division. He has got a fun style, draws a great crowd in the Fresno, California area. Every time he fights up there, guys, he puts 14,000, 15,000 butts in the seats. It is a tremendous atmosphere, which is always useful when you're trying to land a world title shot. But this fight for Barboza, kind of personal. He's always felt like he was the B-side to Jose Ramirez when they were both at Top Rank, that they wanted to promote him and didn't really pay enough attention to Arnold Barboza. So for Jose Ramirez, it's kind of a business-usual type of fight. I think it means a little bit more to Arnold Barboza.
Jose Ramirez has been there and done it, right? We saw him do fantastic well until he ran into an incredible Josh Taylor that night. Arnold Barboza we haven't seen yet. Do you think Arnold Barboza, again, like the question I asked to Chris, is a fixture and a top contender in the 140-pound division?
Look, this isn't me sitting on the fence, but we'll find out Saturday. If he gets the win over Ramirez, with Chris, I feel Ramirez still has a hell of a chance to regain a title in the division. If he was to get the win over Ramirez, you'd have to. With the record 31 wins, undefeated, with the way that he fights, the way he's improving with every fight, the belief that he'll get from that fight will catapult him into another galaxy.
What a division right now the 140-pound division is. I mean, look at the top dogs, and then the guys just below it. And then there's Oscar Duarte on this card who's just below that. It's stacked from 1 to 15. Good luck, you're going to be in tough fights all the way through.
Look, Jack Cattrall back in the UK, he's someone who we spoke to, and he's buzzing, absolutely thrilled to be involved in this division, a division with so many stars. It really is. If you're in that category, it really does get the juices flowing.
Hey, and in 1 month's time, we're going to get a 140-pound title on the line. Liam Paro going up against Richardson Hitchens. That is a matchroom fight. But look, matchroom Golden Boy, very easy to do a deal to get the winner of this fight in with the winner of that one.
Barboza Jr.
That's all, Skip. Jose Ramirez is going to make his way to the ring in a few minutes and do his workout as well. But the zone has so much coming your way, including obviously the big one on Saturday, and so much to end what has been a really good 2024 from the home of boxing.
An unbeatable year of boxing on the zone. The biggest names and knockouts.
How do you like it?
And it continues this weekend with Riyadh season Latino Night. Coming up, Edwards versus Jafai, Paro versus Hitchens, Rocha versus Juriel, Akhmedov versus Espinoza, and finally, Usyk versus Fury 2. You can't beat fight nights every week. You can't be over 150 fights a year on the zone. Boxing on the zone is unbeatable. Sign up at thezone.com/boxing.
By the way, I'm fascinated as to what has happened between the WBO and Arnold Barboza. Again, Arnold Barboza's been desperate for a world title fight. He's actually going to join us now. He's been desperate for a world title fight. This was a title eliminator, puts him very close to Teofimo Lopez. He's decided not to. Let's get Arnold Barboza in. Arnold, come in. Arnold, I'm going to go straight off the bat with this one. Firstly, fantastic. It's good to see you do a proper workout. Not everyone does a proper workout. What's happened? Why has this gone from a title eliminator for the WBO to a non-title eliminator fight?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know, but hey, it doesn't matter to me. Title eliminator, no title eliminator, I just want to fight.
So Arnold, we just had Eric Gomez come up here. This is all kind of happening in real time. And he said the reason that this is not a title eliminator is because you didn't want it to be one. He said that you've had issues with the WBO in the past. You didn't want anything to do with a world title eliminator.
It's not that I had issues with them personally. It's just that I think the past like 4 or 5 fights I've been paying sanction fees, and I haven't got no title shot. You know what I mean? Let's be real. You know, I fought Alex Salcedo. I fought who I had to fight, and I haven't got no title shot. You know, so I hope that hope I can get a title shot. You know, I mean, from any organization, but it got to the point where that's extra money coming out of my pocket for my kids.
Now that makes sense. That I can get on board. You have been up there in those rankings for a long time. You have not been given a mandatory shot. Why should you have to reach in your pocket one more time to take out a percentage for that person? That part, I can agree with that.
I mean, the way I look at it is like, man, I fought guys where it should have gave me a title shot. You know, there's guys that fought in less opposition and got title shots. You know, so that's how I see it.
Stylistically, I want to jump into this fight. You know Ramirez very well. Just quickly, what are his strengths and weaknesses, and how do you nullify them with yours?
Man, you know what his strengths is? He's a very strong fighter. You know, body strong. You know, he likes to get you out mentally. You know, you got to be mentally strong for him. You know, that's why we did training camp where we did it. We did it in Big Bear again. You know, we love going out there, and I think that's the best place to get mentally strong and physically strong.
I see you say somewhere that he has a knack of dragging you into his kind of fight or war. Are you willing to go there if need be?
I'm willing to go there. You know, that's what we practice. My dad did a great job in camp. We brought in the right sparring partners. We brought in sparring partners that were bigger and weighing in at 175, 180, helping us. You know, so we're like I said, we're willing to do whatever we got to do to win this fight.
I feel like you and Ramirez have been circling each other for the best part of a decade. It's been going on to the point where, okay, it's going to happen at Top Rank, it's not. It's going to happen at Golden Boy, it's not. It finally happens. You must be just happy to finally get in the ring with Ramirez.
You know what? To be honest with you guys, man, I haven't been excited for a fight in a long time since I fought Alex Salcedo. I'm not even lying. You know what I mean? Because this means something, you know? Alex Salcedo meant something for me, and I thought I was going to get a title shot after that. Never happened, so I had to keep fighting these ring guys, and no one knew about, like, Zorias and all these other fighters. But this one means something to me. I'm very happy. I'm very excited. I just want to get in the ring.
Get in the ring, you will as well on Saturday night.
Appreciate
well done,
you.
Arnold.
Thank you.
Well done.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
There you go. Look at that. Mexico world there next to Japan world, next to Greece. I mean, there's a lot going on there as well, but the focus is here right now. Latino Night, and it's really good to speak to Arnold Barboza and for him to be honest as to the reason why he said, you know what, no more sanctioning fees. We're not doing that unless you're giving me a world title crack. They're not giving a world title shot, and I feel a lot of fighters are going to listen to that, and we can see a lot of non-title fights coming up in the next few months. Anyway, let's throw it back downstairs to your MC, Mr. Thomas Schreiber.
And now let's welcome to the ring from Avenal, California, USA. He was a 2012 Olympian and now has a professional record of 29 wins, just one defeat with 18 wins. Coming by way of knockout, let's welcome the former unified super lightweight champion of the world, Jose Ramirez.
What a fight this is, by the way. Jose Ramirez, former unified champ at 140 pounds, taking on the unbeaten Arnold Barboza Jr. That is the co-main event on Saturday night. Remember, it is all live and free on The Zone as well. All you need to do is go to thezone.com/boxing. Just use your email address to sign in, and you've got a fantastic night of free boxing. What a good night of free boxing, Chris. Hey?
Yeah, it's fantastic, no question about it. This fight, I think, is going to be incredibly competitive. I love the style matchup between these two guys. Jose Ramirez is rarely in a bad fight. Even his last fight where he didn't look his very best, he still got the job done. He still did it in a very exciting way. We had Arnold Barboza up here moments ago. One thing I didn't get to ask him was, this fight feels personal for you. It feels like you want a piece of Ramirez, you want a piece of Top Rank, you want a piece of your former manager, you want a piece of everybody that has to do with this fight. He's going to get a chance, but don't discount Jose Ramirez. I still think he is a top guy at 140 pounds.
He looks huge. He looks absolutely ginormous in that ring. And yeah, I love the way he fights. He's aggressive, but he's smart with it. Always looking to outgun, outlast, out-hustle his opponents. And that's why, with the popularity that Chris spoke about, he's still a big draw in this division.
Yeah, you look at the record as well. I mean, look, Victor Postal, who fought Terence Crawford. Let's put Josh Taylor, Jose Pedraza, Richard Comey, Rances Bartholomew. I mean, apart from the inactivity, they're all big names. Like, this is a good run of fights.
They're very big names. They're very good opponents. But the inactivity, though, is a real thing. You look at that schedule, 1 fight per year over the last 5 years. Jose has talked about how he feels like that has set him back, and that made him look kind of like a subpar version of himself against Rances Bartholomew in that last fight. Now he's getting a fight, 6 months, 7 months after that Bartholomew fight. He feels like he's going to be sharper because the activity has been ramped up.
Yeah, I mean, the only time in 5 years where he's fought twice in a year, which again, it's incredible, isn't it? It's the Josh Taylor curse. Josh Taylor's the same after fighting him. But you're right, he does look good. I mean, and he's showing us that jab as well, which he's famed for. It's not even, I don't think of it as a jab, I think of it as a power shot. It's so strong.
It's a ramrod shot. Going back to that inactivity as well, that doesn't help your punch resistance. And against Rances Bartholomew, I felt he was dropped in that fight. The referee called it a push. And look, we see him against Taylor dropped. And look, he needs to be busy. He needs to be busy now, he really does. And like I said, he's a star still, very entertaining fighter. He's got a lot of opportunities in front of him, but he's in there with a man who we've just spoke to, who has the opportunity to change his life. He has the opportunity, Barboza Jr., to really make a claim to be one of the top dogs in the division.
Chris, you can speak better to this than myself and Darren. I feel like there's about 4 main event fights here that would have headlined and done really good numbers in certain territories in America, this being one of them.
No question. This was originally scheduled to be a main event back in September. This Riyadh season Latino Night opportunity came around, and Jose Ramirez had this fight bump there. But at least 3, maybe 4 fights you could see as legitimate headliners in the U.S. See Robert Garcia standing up there with Eddie Hearn. Robert Garcia also apparently training Eddie Hearn for his proposed fight against Oscar De La Hoya. So that's going to be a busy man over the next few months.
Yeah, Oscar didn't help himself there by saying he needs 2 months for Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn took that and ran with it like, you need 2 months for me? I'll take that. Oh, those two made me laugh. Remember, we've done nearly all but 1 cruiserweight action. The big boys are going to be entering the ring, and those 2 are very big boys. Billam-Smith and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez are going to be up next behind us. I can't wait for this one. I'm so intrigued by how this plays out. Is it going to be the natural cruiserweight, or is it going to be someone that has a bit of special magic dust on him in Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez?
Yeah, it's a great, again, we keep saying this, but a great clash of styles between these 2 guys. Gilberto Ramirez showed great footwork, high activity rate at cruiserweight in his last fight against Arsene Goulamirian. Billam-Smith is the kind of guy that likes a fight in the phone booth. He wants you to be physical. He wants to take that fight on the inside. I think whoever is able to dictate the style, the pace of this fight is going to have a big advantage going through it.
Are we still underestimating Billam-Smith considering the work he's done in the cruiserweight division? Again, Lawrence Okoli, massive favourite, who's now moved to heavyweight, shows the size of him. Richard Riakpo, big puncher, who's now moved to bridgeweight. He beat both of those guys.
Yeah, I'm personally surprised that there are a lot of people sleeping on Billam-Smith because he's the natural cruiserweight. He's the big guy. He's the physically strong fighter out of the 2. He has that win over Lawrence Okoli that not many thought he would win, honestly. I think many thought Okoli may go through his career at cruiserweight unbeaten, but look, he ripped up that script and it was a very good win. He believes in himself. Tough, physically strong, and he's going to make the most of this opportunity.
Here with us now, former unified champ at 140 pounds, Jose Ramirez. Only your second fight in a year and 5 years. It must feel so good just to be out boxing again.
Oh yeah, man. Last time I was this active was when I became a unified world champion, and I'm trying to, stay sharp, stay active. I think that's the best thing for any fighter.
What are the aspirations now? Is it to get back to that very top that you were, show people that you still can compete with the very, very best? I mean, there's been some talk about 147. I look at you, you're a huge 140 pounder. What's the want now for you, Ramirez?
Yeah, man, to continue to inspire a lot of the youth, the next generation of fighters, and like you said, I haven't been very active in the last 5 years, so time flew by, but I still feel that young, hungry fighter, that I have a lot left in my tank.
Jose, we just talked to Arnold Barboza, and this fight was changed over the last few hours from a world title eliminator to a non-world title eliminator. Does that change anything for you? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I heard that his team wanted to make this fight a 10-round fight instead of a 12-round fight. But, I'm ready for a 12-round fight, Nick. It doesn't make a difference. I'm here to make sure I go out there and I dominate, and there's a reason why they believe they wanted to make it a 10-round fight instead of a 12-round fight. And, for me, the main thing for me is to stay focused and, nothing changes.
Are you surprised it's taken so long for this fight to happen? You know each other, you've been in the gym together. Are you surprised?
Well, to be honest, I've never been in the gym with him, but I know he's been calling my name, but he's been calling other people's names too. When I first time with Golden Boy early this year, he was calling out Teofimo Lopez. And for me, he's looking for the world title fights, but then again, he's trying to stay at 10-round fights, and it makes no sense to the way he talks about, fighting the best and fighting for the world title fights. But for me, I was always in a mission, and if you guys have followed my career, I was in the mission to become undisputed world champion. I wasn't looking back, and now that the fight got proposed to me, I took it.
Yeah, you certainly have taken it, and now you're here as well in Saudi Arabia. This is different. This is very unique. What's it like to be out here?
I'm just so thankful. I'm thankful with Golden Boy. I'm thankful with Saudi Arabia. I'm thankful with the zone, with everybody a part of my career in this next chapter in my career. And it's a blessing for me. It's quite an honor for me to be able to showcase my talent around the world. It's a dream come true for any kid who once started boxing in a small little gym of Avenel, California.
You've done so well so far. Good luck on Saturday as well, Ramirez. I think it's going to be an excellent fight. All right, it is the big boys next, the main event. Let's throw it back downstairs to Thomas Triber.
Damas y caballeros, ladies and gentlemen, our Riyadh season Latin Night main event is a unification bout scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for both the WBA and WBO Cruiserweight Championships of the World. It's being brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, with Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and Sella in association with Boxer. Let's first welcome to the ring, coming to us from Bournemouth, England. He brings a professional record of 20 wins, just one defeat, with 13 of his 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Let's welcome the reigning and defending WBO Cruiserweight Champion of the World, the gentleman, Chris Billam-Smith.
Here he comes, the current WBO Cruiserweight World Champion, CBS, the gentleman, Chris Billam-Smith. For some, an underdog here against Zurdo Ramirez, but I think it's a place he likes to be. Underdog against Richard Riakporhe, got the job done. Underdog against Lawrence Okoli, got the job done. He's expected to get the job done again on Saturday night. A man that knows him well joins us, his promoter, Ben Shalom. Ben, what's it been like working with Chris?
I was just thinking then as he came up the steps for a unified world title, it's surreal. I remember when I sat down with Chris, the dream was only to get to Bournemouth. We were like, you can sell 3,000 or 4,000 tickets. We've got to get down to the South Coast. Let's put on a great domestic fight against Isaac Chamberlain, which was a great fight at the time.
Yeah.
But then the journey that's gone on has just been incredible, and he's just got better and better, and the whole team and Shane and the whole setup. He's just an example of what hard work can bring, and to be here now on the world stage in Riyadh after being that Bournemouth international centre and going through those stages, it's incredible. And he's ready, he's so relaxed, and as you said, it's been the underdog so many times. For me, he's the most established cruiserweight in the division, and we're very, very confident on Saturday night.
Ben, some of the names there, some of those wins, did they surprise you?
Come on, the Lawrence one surprised you.
You know what, the Lawrence one, what it was Lawrence took it on about 6-7 weeks notice. He was coming off the David Light fight, and he was getting a lot of criticism, and the way he just wanted to jump into it straight away, he had so much confidence, and it was like, yeah, I know Chris, I've been in the gym, they were obviously gym mates, so many rounds together, so I thought, bloody hell, you know something that I don't. But Chris obviously knew something, Shane knew something, and they prepared meticulously. That one in particular was a phenomenal night, and at that time no one wanted to fight Lawrence Okoli.
Ben, what do you think Chris has to do to win a fight like this? Going up against Zurdo, a guy that's going to throw a lot of punches in this fight, shown pretty good footwork at the cruiserweight division. What does he have to do to win it?
Look, I think size is going to play a part here. I think Zurdo, although he's a big guy, he's not a natural cruiserweight, and Chris is a career cruiserweight. He's a strong guy. Every guy that gets in the ring with Chris goes. You do not realise how strong this guy is. You don't realise how aggressive he is. He keeps his distance. His fundamentals are incredible. His power as well. I just feel that this might be a step too far for Zurdo in terms of, I know he's talked about going to bridgerweight, I know he's talked about going to heavyweight, but for me, he's a super middleweight, and he did well at light heavyweight, but he was shown he got to his level against Bibol, and it was an underwhelming performance. He's come in and he's beat Gullamarian, and for me, Gullamarian, we looked at him for a while, 2 years out of the ring, and I just don't think he's proven himself at cruiserweight yet, and I know everyone's extremely confident on their side, and I know they feel like they've handpicked Chris Billam-Smith. I think sometimes when you watch footage of Chris Billam-Smith, you don't really get a true sense of what it's like to be in there, and look, that's what we're counting on. And yeah, as I say, this was a fight that as soon as we fought Richard Riyad, Shane was like, that is the fight. That's a fight that they've been preparing for way beyond this was announced, and they're preparing for it for a reason. So yeah, we're quietly confident. We like being the underdog, and then hopefully it sets up a really big unification after.
I almost feel like when fighters come to Riyadh season, those that have not had that big moment, they can kind of freeze on the big stage. He's had some big moments, hasn't he? Selhurst Park last time out, you mentioned Bournemouth. I mean, that's 20,000, that's 15,000. He's been in big arenas, he's fought on big fights, so this shouldn't be a surprise to him.
No, if anything, I was concerned about fighting without a crowd. You know, he's had that energy every single time he's gone into a ring. As you said, pressure moments. Lawrence Okoli in front of 20,000 Bournemouth fans. There's not more pressure than that. And then to go and do it in Selhurst Park against Richard Riyad, pressure again. For me, this is going to be a different environment. He's not going to have those screaming fans. He's not going to have that energy to feed off. He's not going to have when he goes back to the ring and he feeds off the crowd. But then saying that, sometimes I think he gets overexcited in fights, and we've seen that as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he adapts to fighting in Riyadh. But pressure's not going to be a problem. It's just a completely different environment.
Does the winner fight Jai Pattaya? I guess you can only answer from your side, but does the winner fight Jai?
I think from our side, yes. Okay. And we'd love to do it back out here, but equally we'd love to do it in Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium. And we know from speaking to Jai and Mick Francis, that's something that they would have no problem as well. But obviously it's a big night on Saturday night, and it's very difficult to look too far beyond. But Jai Pattaya, I think it's a one waiting in the wings. I think, is he coming on Saturday? Or?
He is, you know.
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have a choice.
Right, come on, Ben. Final prediction. I want an accurate prediction here.
Chris Billam-Smith late stoppage. I think he's going to stop him. I think he's going to stop him. And yeah, look, I feed off. Sometimes I've had fighters where if they're with the wrong team and they're with the wrong strength and condition, and you're with the wrong trainer, it's going through my mind. And I've had it a few times, and I know when they get in the ring, maybe things haven't been perfect and where they switched on. When I'm working with Shane, and whether that's with Adam Azim, whether that's with Caroline DeBoer, whether that's with Chris Billam-Smith, because we plan so much and because they dedicate every day of their life to the craft and and I see the work that goes on behind the scenes. Every time Chris gets in the ring, I'm confident, and we chose this opponent, and that gives me a lot of confidence.
Ben, sorry, I had to tap you there because you know what, Zurdo's waiting. I need to get him in the ring.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. Thank you very much. Cheers, Ben. Thank you very much. All right, let's throw it back downstairs to Thomas Triber. Zurdo Ramirez on his way.
And now let's welcome to the ring, coming to us from Mazatlán, Sinaloa, Mexico. He brings a professional record of 46 wins, just one defeat, with 30 of his 46 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the reigning and defending WBA Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez.
Ando al pie de tu ventana, pa' que sepas que te quiero. Tú a mí no me quieres nada, pero yo por ti me
Zurdo
muero.
Ramirez making his way to the ring, the current WBA Cruiserweight World Champion. As he does that, Chris Billam-Smith has made his way to the studio. Chris, I've seen you a few times. You've grown a couple of inches, Chris. What's good? Can we zoom in on the foot? Because have you got... No? She's your height? Chris, you're massive.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I've been doing my stretching and I've got to get taller, you know, but I feel strong. I feel good at the weight. I feel like now I've really filled into the weight, and I feel like I've, over the last couple of years especially, really filled into weight and feel like a very solid cruiserweight now.
That's, I guess, one thing with Zurdo, isn't it? Has he filled into the weight? Is he a natural cruiserweight? You are, right? And you've, as you said, you've grown into it perfectly. This guy was fighting a couple of years ago, 175 pounds. That's a big jump from 175 to cruiser. Is that where you're thinking your best advantages come from, just being the naturally bigger guy?
Yeah, I think that is one of the advantages, but naturally the way I fight and the strengths I have are that intensity, the strength on the inside, all that is, I think that's against anyone. I think that's an advantage against anyone in the division, but someone coming up, yeah, for sure.
Chris, you texted Zurdo before that fight against Goulamirian to wish him luck, and you said you want to make that fight happen right after. Obviously, that was a great performance by Gilberto, but when you watched that fight, did you see things there that you can exploit in the ring with him?
Yeah, for sure. There's a really good performance from him, but I'm not Goulamirian. I'm very different to him. He's a come-forward fighter, sort of hands high, kind of that Eastern European strong style, but he's a lot different to me. I've got a lot more to my game, I believe, than Goulamirian. So I think, although I'm a come-forward fighter, I do it in a much smarter way, I think, and more speed and more tenacity.
This is it now, isn't it, Chris? This couldn't have come at a better time, I don't believe. Do you agree? You've had the big nights. You've written wrongs right, beating Riyadh that second time. Do you feel like you're in the perfect place physically and mentally to be taking on Zurdo Ramirez?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, and he's the most complete fighter I've boxed. All those names you mentioned have been good wins, but he's got a lot more to his game than a lot of those guys. And there's not really any glaring weaknesses, you know, but I've got to go in there and be the best version of me, and the best version of me is the best cruiserweight on the planet, and so as long as I do my work, then I believe that, you know, I get the job done.
How do you have the rankings now? Is it Opataya, you, Zurdo?
He's not going to have Opataya above him, is he? Come on, Darren.
Well, I'm just saying
he's not going to have a fellow world champion above him, is he?
We've been talking here, the whole narrative is that this is 2-3 fighting, and then the fighter goes on to face Opataya, the number one.
I get that, but even when I beat Opataya, there will be someone trying to say that he was robbed or so. It's always I'm not a favourite in this fight. I wasn't against Lawrence. I wasn't against Riyadh.
When is that going to change? Because
I guess that's why I've got to beat him, and then I've got to beat Jai.
Because Lawrence was almost the Opataya-esque, right? No one wanted to fight Lawrence Okoli. He's too big, too strong. His hands are too long. He's too tall. Riyadh hits too hard.
Yeah.
And you beat both of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's got more to his game than those guys. But I think once I beat Opataya, I think then I'll be finally called, and rightly so, number one in the division. But I've still got the best resume in the division. He might have a really good name in Breedis, but I think at the time that he's boxed him and the time I boxed Lawrence, it might be similar. But Lawrence has never looked close to getting beat. Breedis have been beat, and he's been in some close fights, even when he's won. But Lawrence never looked close to getting beat, and I truly believe I'm number one in the world.
Zurdo, Opataya, then heavyweight.
I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But for me now, it's very much obviously we're Wednesday now, so it's very much all focused on Zurdo.
I think your story is incredible, and it continues hopefully on Saturday as well. I mean, I've done shows where you've been sort of middle of the card, and now you've gone from middle of the card to, you know, you're a Bournemouth fan, you've headlined that, Selhurst Park, you headlined that, you headline this as well, Chris. I mean, the story's a good one, isn't it, so far?
Yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed it and enjoyed every stage of it, and I feel like I've never got ahead of myself. I've never thought I deserved more when I haven't, and I knew my time would come, and it's coming now. We're nearly there at the very top of the division in terms of worldwide recognised as the number one, and I've got to go out there and do a really good job on Saturday for people to start believing even more. But yeah, I'm in a great place.
Answered like a true gentleman, the gentleman. Well done. Good luck on Saturday, Chris. Good luck. You know, I like those stories in boxing when, you know, not everyone's going to win an Olympic gold medal when they roll out the red carpet and you headline, you make money straight away. Sometimes you do have to do it the hard way, a bit like Ramirez, who we just saw as well. I know an Olympian, but a bit like that, you do have to kind of fight in the middle of the card and no one really thinks you're going to get there, and then headline, and he's done it, Chris.
Yeah, and this is one of those divisions where titles really matter, right? Like some divisions you could say it doesn't matter. Canelo Alvarez is the top guy at 168 no matter what, but in this division, like you go back to when Usyk won the title, they needed that World Boxing Super Series to make that happen, to crown a new star. Cruiserweight has a chance to do the exact same thing with this fight, potentially another fight against Jai Apataya. That to me would crown a new star in boxing.
Yeah, Latino Night coming your way on Saturday. So many big fights on that card as well. And remember, it is live and free on DAZN. Just go to DAZN.com/boxing, sign up, and you get to see it all for free. And if that doesn't whet your appetite, this little promo will.
It's another unbeatable fight week on DAZN.
Hello, people.
For Riyadh season Latino Night, watch for free on November 16th as world champions Ramirez and Billam-Smith collide. Part of DAZN's stacked schedule of over 150 fights a year. Get closer to the action with a first-class broadcast team on any device, anywhere. All of this with no subscription required. You can't beat fight nights every week. You can't beat Riyadh season Latino Night on DAZN. Sign up for free at DAZN.com/boxing.
There you go. I mean, surely you sign up for free and watch that. As that is happening, Zurdo Ramirez is about to join us as well with his shiny WBA belt. Hello, Zurdo. How are you? Zurdo, I need one of these tracksuits. I love this. You know, this is a nice. Can I get one?
Here he goes again.
I always get a tracksuit. This is a nice tracksuit. I like the style. Thank you. Zurdo, how are you? Good?
Good.
Yeah. Excited for Saturday?
Yeah, excited? I'm excited. Super excited. This venue is big. Look, all the people, the music. I feel like I'm in Mexico right now.
You know, when you look back at that fight against Goulamirian, you stood there and you traded with that guy. You were right there fighting him in the middle of the ring. Has the preparation been different for fighting Chris Billam-Smith? This is a different type of challenge.
Well, every time we try to adapt to a different fighter, and this one, I think we're champions. We're going to put a lot of effort for this fight this Saturday night. And I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting, but I feel like I'm the bigger guy, stronger guy, smart guy, and I just want to follow the plan of what I did in the ring.
Talk to me about your opponent, Chris Billam-Smith. What do you know about him?
Well, I know not much about him. I know that he's a champion, he's a great champion, but he has something that I want, another belt, and I want to accomplish it.
You've obviously watched tapes of Billam-Smith, though. You've watched him?
Yeah, a couple, and I mean, he takes really good distance. He can forward. He knows manage everything in the ring, but I think it will be a good challenge for me.
Is it about being smart? Moving, speed, is that your tactics going into the fight?
Always be smart, Mexican style, going forward too. And I mean, I want to just give the fans whatever they want to see in the ring, and I want to keep my belt and take another belt.
What did you learn about what it takes to fight at Cruiserweight in that Goulamirian fight? Your first fight at the weight class, was against kind of a blown-up guy like you, a Joe Smith, who was a long-time light heavyweight. Goulamirian was a long-time cruiserweight, a long-time champion. What did you learn about kind of the physicality of this weight class?
Boy, it's because I've been a cruiserweight a long time champion too. I mean, not champion, but I've been a cruiserweight too, but I didn't know that I couldn't be a cruiserweight, but I walk around like 215, and I mean, I feel good. I feel like I put a lot of more muscle, and I mean, it's great to be in this division, and it's challenging for me because those guys, they're big. They've been fighting in this division for a long time, and I like to prove myself that I can do it. That's what I get into this sport, because I was thinking to myself, you can do it. I believe in myself.
Zurdo, your record is nearly perfect. The only blemish on that is against the former WBA light heavyweight champion, Dimitri Bivol. What did you learn from yourself about that loss?
Well, I learned to
move up in weight.
Move up in weight, and I learned to find myself too, because I was kind of like, I lost myself because I lost the like to be anger, to be like humble too, and I mean it was hard for me to take that loss, because I mean I never lost before in a pro fighter, but it was like down deep in myself. It was like it hurt my ego. It hurt my ego, but now I think like I can do it. I prove myself that I can do it, and I mean Bivol is a great champion. The last fight, I think he get robbed, and I mean, but it's what it is, right?
It is what it is in boxing. What kind of fight can we expect on Saturday, Zurdo?
Well, I expect fireworks. Fireworks. I expect CBS came really prepared to put a great show for all the fans, and I mean, I will take the belt for sure.
It's going to be great, right? On the way to undisputed for you. That's
all the way to be undisputed, and I want all the belts. I want all the fight. The people they've been asked for them. And I mean, that's my goal. That's what I want.
What a main event. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Zurdo Ramirez. That didn't even look like him, the guy that fought Dimitri Bivol. No. The beard is gone, the hair's grown.
I tell you, it's incredible how he was able to squeeze down to 175 pounds, 168 pounds.
That doesn't even make sense once
when he was fighting, he said, like, I've been fighting at cruiserweight at light heavy. He would rehydrate 25, 30 pounds after the weigh-ins on Friday at cruiserweight. Really remarkable he was able to cut that far down.
It is such a good fight, isn't it? I mean, two different styles. I mean, Zurdo can stand in the trading hit, but Zurdo likes to move. You've got Chris Billam-Smith, who wants you in that phone booth. Fantastic matchup.
Yeah. I almost get the impression a little bit that he may slightly be overlooking Billam-Smith, Zurdo Ramirez. I just felt, yes, he's very confident, but I'm not sure he knows a great deal about Billam-Smith, and he's going to need to, because Billam-Smith's fired up.
3 has become 4, just like that. Sergio Mora, who's been doing a bit of part-time work over there at the Spanish broadcast, is with us. Sergio, you obviously saw Zurdo as he walked past there. Looks good, doesn't he? I mean, again, you know when you get fighters trying to cut weight, sometimes just go to your weight class, and he's a cruiserweight.
When doesn't he look good?
Yeah,
I mean, he's always on point. But no, absolutely. He filled out the weight nicely. He filled out cruiserweight. He looks like a legit big man. I mean, normally, you know, when you go up in weight, you can tell you're the smaller man, especially against Chris Billam-Smith. That's a massive cruiserweight, very muscular, naturally that size. But he filled up nicely. I'm looking forward to this.
What a great matchup, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a very different version of Gilberto Ramirez in this fight. We saw a physical version of him against Arsan Goulamirian. You know, look, he's got a great team behind him, Gilberto Ramirez. He's got Julian Chua, who's one of the best young trainers in boxing. He's now working with Malik Scott, who's brought a lot to a lot of different fighters over the last couple of years. I think they're going to fight a much more tactical fight in this one. I don't think they want a fight in the phone booth against Chris Billam-Smith. I think you're going to see more boxer than brawler from Gilberto Ramirez.
Do you believe, Sergio, that his power could be an issue at cruiserweight when he's fighting the likes of Billam-Smith or Opataya?
I hate to admit that I agree with you, because I do think he's going to use his legs a little bit more, just to give you some credit. Who's power? No, the power. I don't think the power is going to be it. I think it's going to be the footwork. It's going to be the technique. It's going to be body shots. I don't think he's going to be head hunting against a bigger fighter. I think he's going to want to attack the body and the uppercuts and use angles on him. I think he's going to want to fight like a southpaw. I think he's going to want to use those advantages and not stay in front of CDS too long.
All right, there you go. Day 2 is down. Day 2 in the books. We saw all the fighters. Some worked out, some didn't, but it was fun nonetheless. Press conference tomorrow. As we say goodbye, the Mariachi band are going to give us some more music. Why not, right? We've only heard from them once, so let's hear from them again. As you can see there, Thursday press conference, Friday weigh-ins. Right now, a bit of mariachi.
Por ahí viene el gavilán, por ahí viene ya volando. No se lo dejen llegar, pollitas anda buscando. Por ahí viene el gavilán, por ahí viene ya volando. No se lo dejen llegar, pollitas anda buscando.
Ay, 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 chinita, qué maldito gavilán.
Ay, 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 chinita, no te vaya a enamorar.
Ay, 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 chinita, qué maldito gavilán.
Ay, 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 chinita, no te vaya a enamorar. Pero qué maldito gavilán, claro que sí. ¡Ay! Por ahí viene el gavilán con sus alitas plateadas, pero más bonitas son las solteras y casadas. Por ahí viene el gavilán con sus alitas plateadas, pero más bonitas son las solteras y casadas.
Ay, 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 chinita, qué maldito gavilán.
Ay, 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 chinita, no te vaya a enamorar.
Ay, 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 chinita, qué maldito gavilán.
Ay, 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 chinita, no te vaya a enamorar. Y cuidado, chiquitita, que ya llegó tu gavilán, claro que sí. Oh. Por ahí viene el gavilán, viene por la nopalera. Anda buscando pollitas, las de a 15 primaveras. Por ahí viene el gavilán, viene por la nopalera. Anda buscando pollitas, las de a 15 primaveras.
Ay, 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 chinita, qué maldito gavilán.
Ay, 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 chinita, no te vaya a enamorar.
Ay, 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 chinita, qué maldito gavilán.
Ay, 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 chinita, no te vaya a enamorar. Claro que sí.
Around the light.
Un gran aplauso para el Mariachi Sol de México, José Hernández. Ustedes la revientan, ¿sí saben? I love it.